Well, hello, welcome back, and thank you for joining me. We're going to get right to the point today. I know. All of spirituality, all of it, all of it is about learning to relax and trust. The end. Should we say some more? Why not, right? That's it. This is an idea that you've heard before here on this video series, and especially if you've been watching for a while. It's about learning to relax and trust. Now, it's very interesting because here in 21st century life, with everything moving faster than it moved yesterday, much less 10 years ago or 20 years ago, with our cell phones, our onboard personal computers, we're so distracted and so carried away by the sheer speed of life that it's so valuable for us to do what you're doing right now. And for that, I thank you. It's your dedication and commitment to practice at play here in your watching this video. So for the next 15 to 20 minutes or however long I'm instructed to go on, I don't really know. We'll talk about learning to relax and trust. And we're doing so here in the text of A Course in Miracles within the framework of Chapter 8, Section 4, specifically in the text of A Course in Miracles. The Gift of Freedom is the title of the section here. And we're on paragraphs 2 through 4 today, if you're exactly counting, which you could do and people do. And we're going through the text of A Course in Miracles in what appears to be the linear fashion in which it's laid out. And what you may have discovered already is that every single sentence contains the entirety of the thought system. So that means that any single one of these videos can deliver the message of the Course for you. That's why they exist, and that's why I do them so often, because I don't know, and in fact, this applies to all of us, we never know who we're going to impact, and we don't know when we're going to impact them, and we're going to say something, or we're going to do something, or we're going to even do something as minute, supposedly, as smile at our neighbor and wish them good morning, and it's going to snap them out of a funk and positively impact the trajectory of their lives. We don't know. Therefore, these videos appear several times a week. Every single sentence of this course contains the entirety of the thought system. So paragraphs 2 through 4 of chapter 8, section 4 of the text do too. It's about learning to relax and trust. So Jesus here in this particular section of the text refers to himself, and he is with us. That's part of this message here. He is with us. And he knows what to do for us to heal. How does he know? He did it, accomplished it. He knows what to do. What's our work in healing, which he rightly describes as a collaborative venture? What are we responsible for? Well, we're responsible for believing that he knows what to do, acknowledging and accepting that he knows what to do, for trusting, relaxing and trusting that he knows what to do, because he does. Jesus is the Holy Spirit here. They're not two. all of spirituality, whatever tradition you were raised in, or whatever tradition or traditions, if any, that you currently practice now, it's about learning to relax and trust. Relax and trust in whom or in what? Well, here in A Course in Miracles, we're invited to relax and trust our inner teacher. By the way, this applies to all spirituality. Now, you are welcome to call your inner teacher whatever you like. Here in the Course, our inner teacher is the Holy Spirit, who, by the way, is also known by many names, such as the voice for God, the universal inspiration, comforter with a capital C, the answer with a capital A, and others on top of that. You may call your inner teacher whatever you want. You may call your inner teacher Sue or Mike or Elvis Presley. You may call your inner teacher nothing at all. Or you may call your inner teacher by multiple names, referring to it as your guides. Whatever inspires you to practice, whatever inspires you to set the ego aside, even if just for the briefest moment, and extend love to the Son of God. Yes. Call your inner teacher whatever you want. Your inner teacher is inner. This is something that is worth emphasizing. Inner teacher. It is not a separate being. The Holy Spirit is not outside of you. Jesus is not outside of you. It's not outside of you. The Holy Spirit is this part of our mind that speaks for God, hence the moniker, the voice for God. It's this part of our mind that speaks truly, that teaches us to perceive truly, that teaches us to see things as they really are, so we can lay all perception aside and know God. That's called enlightenment or awakening or whatever you want to call it. It's, you could call it a return home. And we've never left. Ideas leave not their source. You and I, all of us, are ideas. We're the thought of God, which remains in the mind of the thinker. I invite you to bask in the power of that and accept it and allow it. Remember, every time any spiritual teacher in any tradition says allow or accept, what they're talking about is learning to relax and trust. So let's do just that. Let's learn to relax and trust the guidance of our inner teacher who knows what to do. We are invited here in paragraph 4 to trust Jesus. Healing, as he says, and quite rightly, is a collaborative venture. We have a part to play. He knows what to do. Our job is to trust and accept that he knows what to do. We are to accept that he knows what to do. We're trusting his guidance. We're learning here to relax, chill out, and trust his guidance, to set all of our fiendish manipulation of all phenomena to the side. When we figure that we're an ego, when we identify with an ego, an individual sense of self, we go off and we attempt to orchestrate and manipulate everything that the body's eyes see, which is not real sight because you're not a body. Now, the Holy Spirit knows this. Jesus knows this. Our inner teacher knows this. Our job here is to give up our control, our tiny minded, limited thinking. That's pretty tiny. If it's confined to just this, that's pretty small indeed, isn't it? We're invited to accept that our inner teacher knows what to do, and we're invited to listen. And following that, we're invited to do what our inner teacher suggests. And the acceptance that our inner teacher knows what to do is huge. Let's not underestimate the importance of this on what we call here the spiritual path. It's very, very critically important. This is the essence of spirituality, period. Learning to relax and trust. Now, you may be asking, well, why doesn't the Holy Spirit just snap his fingers and make us enlightened? Boom, just like that. Well, to do that would actually be a deep, deep, and an incredible disservice. What we need to do is not to be rescued, but we need to discover, uncover, if you prefer, for ourselves the power of our own mind. And we do this by joining with our inner teacher and accepting our inner teacher's guidance and doing our practical forgiveness work ourselves. We're not doing it alone. We're doing it with the guidance and support of our inner teacher. Why? Our inner teacher is part of our mind, not separate. The Holy Spirit's not a separate being. We're learning to relax and trust its guidance. You can use the word his guidance or her guidance, pronoun doesn't matter. The Holy Spirit's not a person, actually, anyway. So feel free to refer to it however you want, as long as you're listening to its guidance and acting accordingly, because it does know what to do. Oh, yeah, he does. Just what to do. Our job is to relax and trust. Very powerful, very simple. We're the ones that introduce all of the complications into the equation by refusing to relax, first of all, right? And refusing to trust. Our inner teacher knows what to do for us to heal, and it is a collaborative venture. We supply the willingness, as this course says, the little willingness to accept our inner teacher's guidance. Accept that he knows what to do, because he does. Relax and trust. That is the essence of the spiritual path, in whatever outward form that it takes. Now, if you're just joining us on this video series, A Course in Miracles is simply one door. It is a door that not everyone is going to walk through in this lifetime. So be it. There are many doors. They all lead to the same place. In the end, they all lead to God, all of them. And because there appear to be 8 billion of us, there appears to be a need for many doors. Quite simply. Which explains the vast array of spiritual traditions that exist in the world today, including all of the major religions and every other tradition on top of that. All of them. And here you are. Oh, yeah. Something about this course has drawn you in. Now, it could be that you're a longtime student. There are a number of you watching who have been doing this for decades. It's for everybody. Even if you've never opened this course before, you're watching, and you've watched up until this point. We're about ready to wrap up, and you've watched. So there's something that your inner teacher wants to communicate with you. When something lands here, it is not this pixelated image on your screen that's doing the talking. It's your inner teacher that's doing the talking with the invitation to relax and trust. Trust. I gotcha. I know what to do. Trust me. What's our job? To relax and trust. I'm laughing because it's funny. It is. It's actually funny how simple spirituality really is and how complicated we make it. It's funny, sad. A sense of humor is vital on the path. And I hope that you would agree with that. Because we get in our own way as human beings, which is what we call ourselves, but we're not this. So we're not some artificial label called Homo sapiens sapiens, which is a separation device. I mean, the second sapiens separates us from the Neanderthals because we're better than they were, apparently, or so we think. Really, any label is a separation device. And here's the simple truth: there is no separation of any kind. You've never left your source. You are one with God. You're one with your brother. We're all one. And that is literal. We introduce all the complications ourselves. We have the choice right now in the present moment to relax and trust the guidance of our inner teacher, who invites us to set all of this little drama aside. You'll be happy you did. Okay. Thank you, as always, for joining me here. Questions and comments are most welcome. You're welcome to leave them here, and let's discuss. If you have something that you'd like to discuss here related to this course or spirituality in general, feel welcome to leave the comments, and we'll discuss them. And the subscription button is here in the corner of your screen. That's the red arrow over there. And if you haven't joined us, go ahead and click that. We'd love to have you. And thank you also, by the way, to those of us who have recently subscribed. There have been a number of you. So thank you so much for doing that. It's a pleasure to have you. These videos appear several times a week. And well, we're going through the text of A Course in Miracles. So we're going to come back many times to the idea of learning to relax and trust in what appear to be different contexts on different days. Same message. So let's heed that message today. and learn to relax and trust. And then let's go for and relax and trust. All right. See you soon.